Welcome to yet another episode of Mr. Vamos Dissects. Liverpool taking on Man City is the game that wraps up Blockbuster Sunday, yeah? Liverpool fresh from beating Real Madrid midweek 2-0. Beautiful goals from Cody Gakpo and McAllister. And then Man City still failing to get a win inside there. Yeah, 3 goals up against Feyenoord midweek, and the game ended 3-3. I think this Man City side is going to find it rough facing Liverpool. Well, let's wait and see. This is just going to be a preview of what we expect in this game and where the key pointers will be in this one. For those of you who are new on the channel, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe. Well, just to give you a brief history about these two sides met last season and the game ended 1-1. That's both at the Anfield and the Etihad. Pretty interesting football. Very many of us expected even more goals than that, but I think that's what they had to offer. Liverpool thus beat Man City in 2022. And then before the draws last season, Man City has been having the better of Liverpool. Yeah. But now this is a new one. Pep Guardiola is struggling to get wins. Pep Guardiola has actually lost, has actually not picked a win in his last 6 games. This is like his worst record in regards to coaching. And Slot won all his games in November. It was a clean sweep in November. They didn't lose to nobody. When we start from the Liverpool point of view, Liverpool has been rock solid in all departments of the pitch. When we start from the goalkeeping department, Kelleher, who is now rated the best second choice goalkeeper in the world, has been rock solid. He's been saving a penalty every week. He actually saved one against Kylian Mbappe. Very many of the guys who've been trolling in Mbappe was because of this man here. And then he's actually been having like very, very many nice saves. He's a good passer of the ball. He has good reflexes. He reads the game beautifully, and there's everything about him. And then in the defense, Virgil van Dijk and Konate have been rock solid. Well, Konate actually picked an injury in the game against Real Madrid. Actually, when the game was ending, he had a collision with Hendrick, and then he's going to be out for 6 weeks. Well, interestingly, I'm sure Slot will have very many people to pick from because he has Simikas who can actually play as a centre back once in a while. He actually has a Joe Gomez. So I don't think this will be a very, very difficult decision for him. He actually has a Kwanzaa also, who I don't really rate, but those are very many options that he has. Alexander Arnold is also out injured, but expect Bradley to put in some good work inside that one. Very many of you remember the tackle he did against Kylian Mbappe during the week. In the midfield, Gravenberch has been everywhere this season. He's been pulling the strings in the middle. He's been pulling the strings going forward. He's been pulling the strings in all departments, in all aspects of the footballing game. So that will be a very beautiful thing to watch how he takes on maybe a Gundogan and a Bernardo Silva and everyone. Curtis Jones back playing football. I think he's been a very beautiful footballer to watch. Yeah, there's a video I was moving around where he toyed with most of those Real Madrid midfielders and he made them ask for water. And then Soboslai and McAllister, these are two people that are in and out of the team. But I think that's a very fundamental midfield for Liverpool. In the striking department, this is where the sauce comes in from. Liverpool is actually very hot when it comes going forward. Cody Gakpo, who they were saying is not actually getting very many first team minutes, but he actually comes off the bench and does wonders. So you get a Darwin Nunez, you get a Luis Diaz, and then you get a Diogo Jota. Then it's really going to be deadly for them. Don't forget Mo Salah, who actually was found lamenting about his contract talks at Liverpool. That will be a discussion for another day. That's a very rock solid Liverpool side. They actually sit comfortable at the top of the Premier League table by about 4 or 5 points. They are very comfortable because Slot is actually taking one game at a time and it's actually working. The first Man City side that is looking for points one of these days, they're not finding points as they should be. Yeah. In the goal, I think Ederson is now very complacent recently. I think when you win it all, you somewhat begin to believe that, okay, I can do whatever I want. When you check the third goal that they considered against Feyenoord, I think personally, I think it was a goalkeeper. He didn't really read the game well. Keeper just doesn't come lunging out like that. And yet he's the last man of the defense. Well, the defense has actually not been solid as well. Yeah. I think Guardiola has actually had some injuries. I don't want to say that the one's costing him, but in previous seasons he used to use these injury moments to come and shine. Boosted by the return of Kevin De Bruyne, who is still trying to get back into playing and maybe organizing himself, but getting back into this Man City midfield and starting to look for Erling Haaland is also not easy recently because the likes of Gundogan is not as fresh as he used to be. He doesn't really have the energy and engine to keep running around the pitch. And then Bernardo Silva, I don't really get his role recently. Maybe Guardiola needs to check his tactics a bit. Well, they'll be boosted by the return of Jeremy Doku. I think Jeremy Doku, I like to call him Asanyalaze, might be one of those guys that will cause Connor Bradley a problem. And then Savinho on the right wing, he's actually not scored a goal this season. Yeah, he was really very hyped when he was still playing for Girona, and they actually signed him even before the other season end because of the relationship between Girona and Man City. But he hasn't actually delivered the goods as expected. But of course, I expect him to cook. He's actually been decent in his last encounters, in his last outings, but stuff is not really ticking for him. And then personally, I was really impressed by how Matias Nunez is actually using the minutes that he gets to deliver. Two assists against Feyenoord, both for Erling Haaland, will be something that maybe might spark Pep Guardiola inside that one. Maybe give him a round of minutes and see how that works. I hope it just doesn't become like Calvin Phillips. Well, for Pep Guardiola, I think he's going to be scratching his head the whole before kickoff to see what he does to ensure that he gets a win after looking for it for 6 games, because it's been tricky recently. But personally, the real question for me would be, or the real question for you would be, do you think this depleted Man City side comes through and beats Liverpool at the Anfield? Personally, I don't think that happens today. The real question is, does Liverpool actually reach Buikwe like some of my guys have been telling me? I mean, does Man City actually reach Buikwe? Or does Man City stop at Ginger? Or the reverse? Does Liverpool reach Ginger? Or what happens? I think it's going to be a free scoring game. I think both of these teams will score in this one, but I expect Liverpool to take this one away. So for those of you that probably think Man City might have an edge in this one, well, the history shows that Man City has actually been taking Liverpool to school over the last encounters, apart from the two draws last season. But this is a different Arne Slot side, yeah. Because by the time Luis Diaz comes off the bench, it shows you that this guy has a lot of firepower that he can use to actually play. And then remember, Federico Chiesa is still out injured. We'll wait to see how he comes through and plays, because he's actually very pacey. That whole Liverpool backline is too pacey. Kyle Walker is tired. He's actually grown old, because one of these days everyone is leaving him for the pace. And then Gavado recently has been making very many mistakes. Yeah, I've watched I think two of their last games, and he's actually been making most of the mistakes that have been costing them. Against Tottenham, he made I think two blunders with back passes that cost them. Against Feyenoord, did the same thing. So that defense needs to be sorted. Nathan Ake is out. We might be a good center partnership with Akanji, but they've been very very sloppy inside that one. But let's not get far away from this one. I expect Liverpool to cook Man City in this one. And then during the week, we will have the English Premier League, the much anticipated clash of Arsenal taking on Man United. Yeah, this will be a very nice test for Amorim Ball. This will be a nice test for him. And then for Arsenal, now that they're somewhat rediscovering themselves, they sent West Ham to bed yesterday. Very, very impressive display in that one. I just liked how Martin Odegaard linked up for Bukayo Saka and Leandro Trossard for I think the second or third goal. It was a very beautiful piece of football yesterday. That will be the clash of the week. And then today Amorim Ball takes on Everton. I expect Man United to take on this one and win. Get Amorim his first win in the Premier League as he builds momentum for the next games coming. I think he's cooking something big in that Man United side. And also Everton will not be an easy side. I expect Man United to somewhat take this one away. So our next dissection will actually be on the Arsenal and Man United clash during midweek. We're going to do that. We're going to do something about that one. And then in the Premier League, Uganda Premier League, yesterday was a very dull day. Yeah, KCCA went to Lugazi and they actually shared a draw inside that one. The only beautiful thing inside that one was the Sadata Nakogo, a very beautiful strike inside that one. For those of you that don't know this boy, he was actually playing in was it Scotland? He was actually playing, I think he's trade in Scotland or something. Yeah. And then he got an injury that brought him back to Uganda and all that. But if he gets time and he cooks, you'll see brilliance from the lad. Vipers Kitara, that game ended in a 0-0. I didn't expect that game to end like that. And then, of course, for those of you guys that do not know yet, Dennis Omedi Kitara FC was nominated for the Pushkas Award. This is like the very first time I've had a Uganda be nominated for such an award. So you guys go and tap the link and vote for the young man inside that one. It will be a big win for Uganda inside that one. Don't touch that dial today. 7:30 p.m. should be the time for you guys to sit, eat some popcorn, drink a beer or something and watch this one. Don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to turn on notifications. Yeah, just in case you're cooking something so you can get it firsthand. Enjoy the weekend, enjoy the action. We go again.